Hi, my name is Janice, and I'm a Marvel fan. Actually, I'm a fan of Marvel movies. I was 9 years old when the first Avengers movie appeared on the big screen. Now I am 16 and I've never missed a premiere. I'm so thankful that my parents took me there when I was a little girl. But this story is not about my family. It's about the other important people in my life. We met at one of the Marvel fan cons a few years ago, and even though we have nothing in common in everyday life, we are real friends. Soulmates, united by one little secret. We are not into cosplay, but, well, each of us has our own favorite Marvel character, and when we meet, we play like we are these characters. So please, let me introduce our group of 5. Let Cap be the first here. He is the oldest of all of us, just as it should be, right? He is very calm and reasonable, and I have to admit, I find him very attractive. Then goes the inseparable couple. These two were friends before we all met. Guess who? Right, it's Rocket and Groot. Groot doesn't look like a tree, but he does look very much like Vin Diesel. Also, he is kind and not really outspoken, just like Groot. Rocket is small, quick, and nervous, and you'd better not call him a trash panda. The next one is Doctor Strange. He looks like Sorcerer Supreme only because of his self-assuredness and his love for dramatic effects. He does not wear a cloak, but he'll turn up any collar, like he's Benedict Cumberbatch himself. And it's not that I dislike him, but sometimes he irritates me. I get irritated pretty easily, and in this case, it's better to just stay away from me. Maybe you're thinking that I might be the Natasha Romanoff or the Gamora of our company, right? Guess again. I'm Hulk. Nice to meet you. Well, now that you know who we are, I'll get to the story. It all began last year in April when we went to see the premiere of Avengers: Infinity War. Many fans, love to find out all about what's going to happen in the future films. But we tried to avoid the spoilers so that what we were about to see was a real shock to us. I mean, when half the Earth's population just disappears at the snap of the crazy Titan's fingers, together with half the main characters, it was awful to see the heroes we'd known for so many years vanish into thin air. We left the movies totally depressed and couldn't even talk about what we saw. It was all clear. Words weren't even necessary. But within the next few days, something happened that made us forget everything we'd seen. So Rocket sent a signal for an emergency meeting. We do have these kinds of superhero agreements. When I came, Cap was there, and Rocket was pacing back and forth like a wind-up toy. "You can call me an alarmist," he started, "but Groot is missing." I was about to agree that this scene from the movie made me very upset too, when Rocket exploded, "Not movie Groot, you morons, our Groot." It turned out that he had tried to call his friend all day long, and when he went to see him, he discovered that his apartment was empty and nobody knew where he was. "Can people just vanish into thin air?" Rocket asked and broke off. We looked at each other. Why didn't Strange come? Cap was straight to the point, as always. "He must be busy," Rocket replied with uncertainty. We looked at each other again. Out of our 5 characters, it was these 2 that disappeared in Infinity War. Groot and Doctor Strange. It's not that easy to find out a person's address when you don't know the person's real name. We had to turn the whole fan community upside down, but finally, we got Strange's address. So within an hour, we were awkwardly shuffling our feet in front of his great and respectable house. "Move forward," Cap ordered quietly, and we moved forward. A tall, thin old man opened the door, but Cap couldn't even finish his polite greeting before the old man waved us away, saying angrily, He is not here anymore, and never will be. Leave and don't come back!" And shut the door. We were puzzled and honestly scared. And worst of all, we were helpless. Well, we promised to keep in touch with each other and even met a couple more times, but then stopped. We couldn't talk about anything else apart from our unexplainable loss. And what was the point? And so, almost a year had passed. But one day, news finally arrived. I was hanging out with the other fans at a drawing for Avengers Endgame premiere tickets when I saw Strange. He was wearing dark glasses and he had changed his hairstyle, trying to be unnoticeable. I don't remember how I pushed everyone out of the way or how I pinned him down, but I became really brazen. "Where have you been, Sorcerer McGreamy?" I roared, and probably even lifted him off the ground a little. "Thank God," replied Strange. "Now I am free from my oath and can tell you everything." I sent the emergency meeting message to Cap and Rocket, adding only one word: Strange. And when they got there, the first thing Cap said to Strange was, "Speak." With his arms crossed, he was astonishingly handsome. And here's what our sorcerer told us. Last year, just before the premiere of Infinity War, Groot asked for his help. He had to go away urgently for a year, maybe even longer, but he did not want to explain why, even to Rocket. Strange started to try to make up a scenario, but he failed. Short-spoken Groot wasn't going to be able to lie at all. So Strange had finally found a solution while we all walked in silence after the movie. If movie Groot disappeared in Infinity War, then so should the person known as Groot. The only difficulty was that Strange's character also vanished. But at that moment, the idea seemed so cool that Strange was ready to disappear too in order to make a dramatic comeback when the new movie comes out and all the missing characters return. In the comic world, no hero ever disappears forever. Groot did not really like the plan, but agreed anyway. Strange was happy for a couple of days, then he felt bored, then sad. And when he noticed us shuffling in front of his house, he felt guilty. He was lucky. Apart from him, only his grandfather was at home. And when Strange asked him for help in getting rid of the idiots that were stalking him, his grandfather played his role perfectly. And Strange just watched us, hiding behind the curtain, clenching his teeth. But he was bound by his promise to help Groot play the game that he created. So there was nothing supernatural left to this story, apart from one mystery. Where did our Groot go? And when we finally found out, I couldn't decide if I should get mad or laugh. These two made us worry with uncertainty for a whole year. One because of his love for dramatic effects, and another, well, not because of nonsense, of course, but judge for yourself. Last spring, Groot's father was sentenced to a year of correctional work on a farm. And since he was single, Groot had to go live with his uncle in another city. Our friend was ashamed to explain to us the reason for his departure. But when his father was released early on good behavior, Groot also came back and was honestly waiting for the premiere, just like he had agreed to do with Strange. Moron. Don't worry, this long story has a happy ending. We got together again, and we're going to watch Avengers Endgame together. And of course, we hope that all the missing characters will come back. I still love imaginary worlds, and maybe I'll never stop role-playing. But you know, I notice more and more often that I want to call my friends their real names. Especially now that I know our Cap's name is Steven. I mean, in real life. Please like my story if you've ever imagined yourself as a movie character. And if you're going to see the Avengers final film, maybe we'll see you there. Excelsior!